Barbara. Everybody, that was Barbara Birch. She is an amazing colleague, but she is QM's manager of research, and she really was instrumental in putting this whole day together. So please, a virtual round of applause for Barbara. She really has worked hard to bring this to all of you, and I appreciate all of you joining us today as well. I'm so excited. This is our second QM Research Online Conference. As you know, we have 3 hours today, jam-packed with 9 different sessions for you to choose from. Some of the most wonderful researchers in online learning are going to be sharing information with you today. And as I already mentioned, all the sessions will be recorded. You will be sent the recording links on February 18th. So if you miss something, or you have to, step out and you can't make a session, or you're choosing between two, not to worry, you'll get recording links for all of the sessions. So I wanted to open today by just giving you a little bit of a tour of some of the resources and tools that we have for you for online learning research, and especially QM focused research. First, I would love to hear a little bit from you. Who's in the room? Tell me if you are a QMC and or an instructional designer, an online teaching faculty, an administrator. I'd like to get a sense of who's in my virtual room. So go ahead and take a moment and type in the chat. IDs, faculty IDs. And I'm seeing QMC sprinkled in here as well, administrator. Okay, so pretty healthy mix of some of our top roles. So a lot of faculty, a lot of instructional designers. Several of you mentioned that you are QMCs. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour here. And we're going to start out with the QM Research landing page. So if you're not familiar, and don't worry, if you're trying to write down the links or figure out where everything is, we do have a takeaway sheet for the intro session as well. So everything that I'm going to show you right now, we've put all the links on a sheet for you. We're going to give that sheet to you. It's already on the website. We can load it up in the chat as well. But that's something a little bit unique about the Research Online Conference. Every session today has an associated takeaway sheet, because we really wanted to make sure that if you heard a great idea or you heard about some good research that was going on, you were able to actually do something with it when you left today. Apply it in some way in your own work, in your own classroom, or in some other manner when you're working with Quality Matters at your campus. So what I have here on the screen is the landing page for QM's research. So this is our landing page. Little bit of an orientation there. I'm going to talk about these in a moment. Those are our big 3. And then we have a sidebar here for some QM focused research highlights. So we're going to go through some of the resources that are on this page just to help to orient you. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about these big 3. And that is the library, the QM Research Library, the QM Research Toolkit, and QM related research resources. All of these are free and they are available publicly. So you do not have to be a member to access the research library. You don't have to be a member to access the research toolkit. So let's go through some of these things. For the research library, go ahead and give me a yes in the chat if you knew the research library existed. I'm always excited to hear from people when they didn't know it existed. Oh, hi, Amy. And they learn about it. So as all of you know, QM's rubrics are supported by research. They are also revised every so often to really reflect the latest in online learning research, and also the expertise of practitioners, online teaching faculty, instructional designers, and the like. So if you're ever wondering, well, what is some of the research that supports the rubric, you can go to the QM Research Library and you can search by general standard, you can search by a specific standard, you can also search by keyword. So especially if you're facilitating a QM workshop, or if you're faculty that's new to QM and you really want to dive into the research that supports the standards, this is a great way to really, put your toe in that water and see what some of that research says. Now, over the years, we have really expanded this research library, and it also includes topics that are fundamental to online learning that are reflected in the rubric, but maybe aren't associated with one specific standard. So for example, if you are looking for things on presence and the community of inquiry framework, you can search by those keywords as well. You can also contribute to the research library. So if you have your own research articles maybe that are in support of the rubric or related to online learning, if you're working on a research project and you stumble across an article, you can also submit that article to be included and searchable in the research library. So I implore all of you, help us to grow and help us to keep it updated. Our research colleagues also do that, and I'll talk a little bit about them in just a minute. Next is the research toolkit. So this was developed several years ago by Dr. Kay Shattuck, QM's Director of Research, which thankfully she is still staying on and helping us out. But Dr. Shattuck was how I got introduced to Quality Matters. So she and Barbara really spent a lot of time to create this really nice public, again, research toolkit. And if you're trying to conduct, especially QM focused research, and you're really trying to design that study, and you're not quite sure how to begin or how to really start that thinking, the research toolkit walks you through that step by step. So each of those tabs there, step 1, step 2, and step 3, you can click on those, they expand, it gives you more information, and it really kind of walks you through creating and designing your own QM focused research project. We also do have, you can see there's a little yellow box call out there, the ABCs of Online Learning Research Workshop. So I'm going to pop into that for a second and just tell you a little bit about that because it is related to the research toolkit. So years ago, Kay and I used to do face-to-face workshops at QM conferences and other conferences across the country, talking about how to design and conduct online learning research. Because we found that a lot of individuals that, maybe it wasn't, maybe online learning research or education isn't your field, but you really want to do something in related to online learning research because you're an online instructor, for example, or you're an instructional designer, but maybe you don't have that strong research background and really how to design it and think through some of the pitfalls and the unique constraints and barriers that we find in online learning research. So we put together this workshop. The face-to-face one is usually a half day, but we also now have a fully online asynchronous one that is 3 weeks long. This is a fairly intensive workshop. So for those of you that have somewhat of an idea for a research project that you'd like to conduct, and it could be action research, it could be SOTL research, scholarship of teaching and learning, or it could be a really big quantitative research project that you want to publish at some point or present at different conferences. But if you have an idea for research that you'd like to conduct, but you're not quite sure how to get started, or maybe you're a little bit antsy about the unique constraints of online learning research, this is a good fit for you. So it's 3 weeks long. The next session starts in February, and I'll be facilitating that one. And we also then have sessions in, I'm looking down at my notes here, in July. That's going to be facilitated by our research colleague, Stella Porto. And then we also have a session in November that will likely be facilitated by our research colleague, Erica Hollis. So join us for one of those if you have a research project you'd like to get off the ground. Rounding out the big 3 then is curated QM focused resources. So this brings you to a page where you could download some of the recent literature reviews. You can see that it's separated by topic. So those of you that are K-12 focused, there is a bevy of resources there for you to look at. Higher education focused, including the higher ed lit review summary, online teaching focused. And then in the sidebar there is also information about QM's past research grant projects. And if we go back now to the landing page and look at that gray sideboard that's on the landing page, there's also a link there to our white paper series. So if you get our emails regularly, you know that we have been releasing several in the QM Digital Accessibility White Paper series. We're also going to have a presentation on that today. It is a wonderful series dedicated to accessibility in online education. So check that out. And below that then is a direct link to the Chloe reports, Changing Landscape of Online Learning. How many of you are familiar with Chloe or who have downloaded it before? Give me a yes in the chat. Hi, Amy. I see a lot of faces too when I paused to check the chat. Wonderful. Okay, so you can get to the Chloe report by clicking there on the sidebar if you'd like. That brings you to a dedicated page for Chloe. So we are now, we have Chloe 5 published. We're actually working on Chloe 6 right now. So be on the lookout for that later this year. You can see a sidebar there that shows you who is on the research team that puts that report together. And we also have a Chloe advisory panel. And if you scroll down a little bit when you're on that page, you'll get to meet all of those individuals as well. We've put a little arrow there just to show you where to download. So each of the Chloe reports can be downloaded for free. So if you haven't had a chance to read, especially Chloe 5, it was concentrated on the remote pivot, definitely something you might want to check out. And we're back to the landing page. So I did want to show you that there is a drop-down menu there at the top, and you can also access the Chloe project as the last item there in the drop-down menu. But right above that is the QM Research Colleagues. QM Research Colleagues, if you are here, go ahead and say hi in the chat, please. I know several of you are presenting today. And I do have a question here. Where can I find out more about the workshop? Chris, that's going to be on included on the links for the sheet that I'm going to upload here, and that is on the website as well. Okay, so yes, I see that we have some of our research colleagues. So Whitney Zimmerman is here, Andrea is here, Barb Altman, wonderful to see all of you. Barbara Fry, wonderful, wonderful, the queen of our white paper series. And there is Dr. Kay Shattuck. Hi, Kay, wonderful to see you. So I started out as a QM research colleague, and it really is such a benefit to be able to work with all of these exceptional individuals. So in the research colleagues page, we have everybody listed there. You can expand to see a little bit more about them. These are individuals that really are focused on online learning research. So whether they're faculty or instructional designers, or even work outside of education in other fields and areas, they are focused on online learning research. We also have something new this year on the research colleague page. You can see a list of publications that have been authored by our QM research colleagues, as well as Dr. Shattuck. And below there, there's also a recommended reading list. So some of our favorite books and journal articles are included there. We get a lot of questions sometimes like, where should I start? Or do you have a recommended book that for online teaching or for, building an online learning community, all of that, those good questions. So check out that recommended reading list and you might find your next book there to dive into. And then rounding out the research page. So this is at the bottom of our research landing page. We have some frequently requested resources. So accessibility policy creation, and Barbara, if I can speak to that as well, how to reference and use QM research. So especially if you're publishing anything, but if you're writing something up and you're referencing the QM rubric, or you're conducting QM focused research or research that includes the QM rubric, you definitely want to reference and cite that properly. So there's information on that. Streamlining accreditation preparation, there's information on that. One other note on using QM in research, one of the things that Barbara and I do regularly and we love to do is have conversations with all of you. So if you are embarking on QM focused research, especially if you're graduate students, I know QM is frequently part of individuals' dissertations. And maybe you just have some questions or you're not quite sure what are some of the pitfalls of online learning research and how to avoid them. Please do reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation and help you out the best that we can in that. On the right side there, you see recent articles. So there's one on evaluating online course quality, a study on implementation of course quality standards. That is a recent article that several of us worked on that we have published. Student perceptions of the impact of QM. That's a recently released article. And then those two below are questions that QM research got very frequently over the years, and we decided to put together something about that. So class size and online courses, what does the research say? I think Barbara, you were responsible for that grade page, and then video length and online courses, what the research says about that. So if you have a research question, or if you consistently get asked the same research question at your campus or your institution, reach out to us. We might have some resources for you. If not, at least it alerts us that this is a common question and that there's a member need there for us to give you some information about that. So we're always here to help. We'd love to talk research. And down at the bottom of the research landing page is a nice PDF flyer for sharing QM research with your colleagues. We're going to share that in the chat as well. And then finally, frequently asked questions. So again, the FAQ link is going to be on the takeaway sheet for this session. And the FAQ page, if you haven't checked it out, but the member FAQ page is extremely helpful. There is, though, a topic that is dedicated just to research. So for those frequently asked questions for research, we're building out that list for you. And hopefully that becomes a nice sort of one-stop shop for some of those big questions that you have as well. Okay, so I'm going to check the chat here for a second. All right. Did everybody get the takeaway sheet with the links? And then Barbara, you have posted a link to all the conference materials. Okay. So the slides, for example, for the introduction are listed there. There's also a PDF version. There is the takeaway sheet that has the links for everything that I just mentioned here in the intro. And we also have that copy of the sharing your QM research with colleagues. That's a nice PDF to share. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing this. Yes, Sarah, you will have the access to recordings. Every session is going to be recorded and those links will be sent to you February 18th. Okay, and let me escape my screen here. All right, and I'm going to share the conference screen. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I know all of you found this page because you logged into the welcome and introduction, okay? But this is your page here for the conference. It's connected to your MyQM account because that's how you registered. So the first session is going to start at 1:40. So 1:40 to 2:30, you have the option of these 3 sessions. You could click on the link and that is going to bring you right into the Zoom room for that session. If you click on see materials, that's going to give you information about the session, and that's also where you can download the slides and the takeaway handout. Okay, so you do have access now to all of the slides and all of the takeaway handouts, and then the link that shows you the name of the session, that will take you to the Zoom room. As I said, we do have a lot of folks that are registered today for this free conference, so if you go into a session and it's filled, please don't panic. Again, you'll get the recordings to all of the sessions. I encourage you then to go into a different session because I truthfully think there are nothing but good sessions today. I mean, I know I'm a little biased, but there's nothing but good sessions today. So if one is filled and you have to go into another one, please don't worry. Again, you get to receive all of the links on February 18th. Okay, I'm going to check the chat here for a second. Any questions that you have about QM research or anything that I mentioned or anything about the conference today? Oh, thank you, Amy. So Amy, you uploaded the takeaway PDF again. Thank you. Helping Corey out. I appreciate that. No questions? Okay. Oh, Ellie's asked, what screen had the comments about class size and video length? If you go to the main research page on the QM website and you scroll all the way to the bottom, it's on the bottom, on the right-hand side. Yeah. Barbara, always helping me out. That's right. qualitymatters.org/research. She put the link in there for all of you. Okay. Any other questions that I can answer? Okay. That's about it for me. I'm going to hang around if anybody does have any other questions. Otherwise, I hope to see you all in sessions. I do have a session later on today, so I will see some of you there probably talking about QM data and how to use data for some analysis and looking towards the efficacy of your QM implementation. So if you'd like to talk a little bit about data, join me for that one. I'm going to pop into some of the great sessions that are happening before my time slot. So I will see you online. I will see you on Twitter, and hopefully someday I'll see you all again in person. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you later.
All right. Thank you so much to Bethany for all the terrific information. We sure appreciate all of you joining us today. I'll just mention that our first group of sessions begins at 1:40 Eastern. So you do have a little break time there. And in the
Coffee.
meantime, we're going to be getting set up for those sessions to begin.
Wonderful. And I'll hang out here in this room for a couple more minutes just in case anybody has questions. We can stop the recording if you'd like, Barbara.